Ackerman Adventures. I'm Jessie, and this is Chris. And we spent the last year building out our dream home on wheels.
This content is sponsored by Outdoorsy. Through Outdoorsy, you can rent your camper van out to make extra cash, and you can rent a van to try van life before you commit.
This is a 2019 Ram ProMaster 3500 Extended that we built out ourselves over the course of a year.
We moved in full-time January of 2021.
All right, let's take a look at the interior. All right, so in the front of the van, we have two work areas. One is this passenger swivel seat. The countertop flips right up. We can work on our laptops here. And the second is the Lagoon swivel table, so the second person can sit on our couch and work on their computer over here. All right, so we wanted our van to feel really homey, not like an RV. So we have white tongue and groove everywhere in the van. We framed the window to look like a house. This is the motion window, sliding window, so we can actually open it and vent out while we're cooking and things like that. I'm also a musician, so we like to decorate with this ukulele. We managed to fit a guitar and a piano in this van as well, so that's something unique here. We insulated our van with Havelock wool, and for the leftover wool, we decided to make insulated window covers. So we know window covers can be a little expensive, but we decided to do our own, and we have one hanging right here that covers this window, completely blocks it out, and keeps any heat or cold out depending on how we're trying to make the temperature in the van. Up here, we have two of our cabinets, our overhead cabinets, with these little rope handles, which are incorporated all throughout the build and even through our rope ladder up into the bed. In all the cabinets, we have gas struts and these slightly revealed hinges. We didn't want to spend the extra money to build the counter sunk in hinges, so these were really easy to install. We have a lot of games up here. In this one, we have our WeBoost adapter, and then from there, our WeBoost antenna comes into the working area so that we can get really good service from the front of the van. For our couch cushions, Jessie actually made them herself. We used leftover mattress foam and then bought some fabric out of Joann Fabric. We have tons of storage underneath the bench, and we can store our shoes in here, our dirty laundry, some sweaters, and underneath the shoes we have a removable floor where our Propex heater is stored.
Welcome to our kitchen. We ended up going with a live edge acacia wood top from Home Depot. And we have this flip up countertop, which Chris already showed you from the front, that provides us a lot of extra space for prepping food because I love to cook. And speaking of cooking, this part here flips up and we have a full stove top and an oven. And this is a propane oven. For our flip up countertop, the thing that we use here, so we just installed a magnet and we can use whatever piece of metal to keep up our flip up countertop. And we have spice racks. So everything about living in a tiny space is you need to find really cool spaces for storage. So our spice racks really help, otherwise you have bottles everywhere, which didn't quite work for us. And our fridge, this is an AC fridge. It's just a Walmart $100 fridge because we both love ice cream and frozen fruit. So we have plenty of fridge space. And then moving back, I'm gonna put this back down so I can show you the backsplash. This is a custom made backsplash from one of my good friends who's an artist in Atlanta. It's resin, so we just took 1/4-inch plywood and then she poured resin over it, and now it's hard, so it's waterproof and it just adds some color to the van. And we have our light switches. So we have 4 sets of lights in the van and each one is dimmable. I can be back in bed, or Chris usually is the one who sleeps in. So he'll sleep in and I can come out on the bench and read in the morning and I can turn on those lights and he can't see them. So it's perfect. And here we have a deep sink. Since I love to cook, I have a lot of dishes. So I wanted a deep sink to give me a lot of space. We have a separate faucet for our water. And we have a filter that filters all of our water through our drinking faucet. And then we have our regular faucet, which moves around. This is nice, again, in a small space. And then we have a pump for our soap instead of having just a bar of soap or a container of soap that moves around as you drive. And then all of our knives are stored here on a magnetic spice rack. In our kitchen cabinets, we tried to organize it as much as possible. We actually planned where everything was going to go before we built anything so we could build it to scale. So you can see that we have a really small space here for our plates, for a collapsible strainer. We have our mugs hanging up. And then on this side is where we keep our shake mix. We make Shakeology drinks every morning, and then all of our coffee because we do pour overs every day. So for our storage in our kitchen, we have one big drawer and two smaller drawers. The big drawer is my favorite, so I'm going to show you. We actually have these cool little latches that we found at Home Depot to keep them closed. So we just have two eye hooks and then this little guy to keep it from opening. But in here, we again bought all of our pots and pans and then built out the drawers so each thing has its home so they don't clatter as we drive. And this is the best thing we've ever bought in the van. It's a collapsible dish rack so you can dry all of your dishes. We can keep it in the sink. It fits perfectly. Best thing. So we have one big drawer for storage and two little ones. We also have storage behind the sink, but it's a sink and she's cleaning supplies. So down here we actually had an extra space we didn't know what to do with, so we built a wine rack. So we have a custom wine rack to match actually the way that our cabinets are built with the V and the mountain theme.
All right, so on our left is our bathroom. This is the Nautilus retractable shower door, which self-squeegees as we open it. We have our own shower light in here, so we can make sure we can see what we're doing. We have a shower and a toilet all in one area. The shower has an on-off switch right on the nozzle, so we can save water as we're taking a shower. We use the hotel-style soap dispensers so we can just have cleaner area. We have 42 gallons of fresh water on board, so quite a large water tank, which is a little bit heavy, but we love it for doing dishes, cooking. It's really great to not have to stress out too much. So our toilet is the Nature's Head composting toilet. It diverts number 1 and 2. We're pretty comfortable with each other, Jessie and I, but it's really nice to have this door so that we can stay a little separated when we're doing our business. It literally doesn't smell at all. If there's any smell, it's just a tiny bit of dirt. Emptying is actually just as easy. It doesn't smell either. The urine we empty every 2 or 3 days probably. The number 2 lasts us probably 6 weeks, maybe even 2 months sometimes. And that's us using it every day. It's really great to have this area if we're parked in a parking lot. People are walking by us outside. They have no clue what's going on in here. But when we do shower, we actually take it out. We cover the air vent and the electricity with a plastic bag and a rubber band, and then we can just hop in there and shower anytime we want. One important aspect of our shower is that we left a little gap above the door so that ventilation could take all the moisture out right through the max air fan, which is right above here. We've never had any problems with steam. We don't really see any moisture starting to accrue in the van. We think that this is going to work totally fine for us. All right, on our left here is actually our food pantry. It slides out on rails and we can grab whatever we need. Below that, we have a little bit of miscellaneous storage. This is a magnetic door. We have just a storage bin with different things in here. And our electrical center is back there. So we can see our battery monitor. We can turn on and off our alternator charger. Our lowest area here is actually hanging storage. So we have this removable Velcro door. And we can hang up a few jackets or shirts so that we don't have to fold everything and roll them up in a little ball. Space is a premium in here, so it's nice to have a little bit of hanging storage for nicer jackets and things like that.
So one thing that we really wanted in our van was a fixed bed. We didn't want to have to make a bed every single day, so we decided to have a fixed bed in the back. It's actually a short queen, so it's shorter than your typical queen, but still just as wide. Because we have bikes and lots of storage underneath the queen bed in the back, we had to have some type of ladder or way to get up onto the bed. So we created our rope ladder to tie into the theme the rest of the van. And we chose this for a couple of reasons. One, it's really easy to flip up and get into the storage here. And two, one of the other ladders that you lean up against the bed, it would just be in the way of all of our other drawers and everything else. So here, you can flip up the ladder and this door opens. And this storage here is actually the length of a yoga mat. So we have yoga mats, a bunch of other workout stuff, a few games, and our backpacks. So actually, I forgot one more thing about the ladder. So we actually made this homemade, and it's extra piece of our countertop. So we just sliced off the end of it because we needed it for the length, and we took it and cut it into pieces for our ladder. So we actually sleep sideways in our van. That's one reason we decided on the ProMaster, so that we take up less space by having our bed going horizontally versus vertically in the van. And here we have our storage for our clothes. So we each get one cubby. They're a little messy, but it is what it is. We keep all of our clothes here. We actually find that this is still too many clothes, which is surprising. And as Chris mentioned in the front of the van, he is a musician. So the guitar floats between the front and the back of the van because we don't have a set home for it. And then above my head, we have a sunroof. This is actually a boat hatch because a lot of the sunroofs we found were really terrible quality. So Chris had the great idea to use a boat hatch so we can open it up and get to our roof at any time. In the back, we wanted to find a way to cover up the metal that's above the back doors. And so Chris very kindly made an essential oil shelf for me. I'm a yoga teacher and a certified aromatherapist, so I have tons and tons of oils. And on the other side, Chris also was kind enough to make me a little coffee holder when we're sitting in bed because he has cubbies and a bookshelf over on this side. So I get a spot for my coffee over here. And we each get our own reading light, which is also touch and dimmable, like the other lights that we have. And then here we have a mural also done by my friend who's an artist. So right above the bed we have a second motion window. And again, this creates a really nice breeze at night. You can open the window, turn on the fan, and it just circulates the air so we can be cool when we're sleeping. And then back here, I told Chris if he gets to have a guitar and a piano, I get a bookshelf. So here's my bookshelf. And we have a map. This is a scratch-off map that has all the states and national parks. So we scratch them off for all the ones that we've been to together. And then we each get a cubby here, and we have another outlet so that we can watch movies from bed and be charging our computers from bed.
Underneath our fixed bed is all of our control center for water and electricity and propane. So this is actually a ventless propane water heater. It's amazing for hot showers and hot water. Our 42-gallon water tank is in the back. We have a 2,000 watt Xantrex inverter for AC power. And then all the other electrical stuff is just tucked away in this corner. Again, the perk of having a high bed, so much storage. So we have our camping gear, backpacks, sleeping bags. I managed to fit a full 88 key piano in here. We have a hose that we can actually quick attach a hose to, spray off our dirty boots or bicycles, which we store here. The bikes are on a sliding tray, so we can just pull them out. This is actually the stand for my piano. Good catch. Our bikes are on the skinniest tray I've ever seen two bikes fit on. I think it's only 13 inches wide, so that's the goal for everyone else. See if you can get two bikes in less than 13 inches. The last cool feature that we have in our van garage is this slide-out chair. It's on 500-pound drawer slats, so both Jessie and I can sit on it at the same time without breaking it. But we hang out back here sometimes. We have little flip-down tables on the doors so we can put a beer or soda and some chips. And really just love to look out the back and see the great views from wherever we're at. We kept the white paneling of the rest of the build on the doors to cover up the metal and the plastic. We wanted to incorporate that all throughout the van. And some more of the window covers that Jessie made to keep out the cold or the heat and to black out all the light from inside the van. We wanted to make sure that we could hang outside the van as well as we could inside the van. So we have a swing chair that we can hang in the doorway. We have this flip down table, put some chips or a beer on. And we actually have two hammock chairs that retract and they hang off the side of the van so Jessie and I can chill and just hang out in our hammocks right off the van. One other thing to mention out here is we needed a vent for our refrigerator. So we actually just cut out this little mountain profile. This is like leggings or something that we just stretched as a black backdrop, but this is just ventilation with a little decoration. Behind me, we have two hammock chairs that we stick off the side of the roof. We actually just used some square steel tubing. It was scrap metal from a local scrap yard. One is smaller than the other, so we just pull it out, put a cotter pin in there, and then hook it up with the chain, and we're ready to lounge whenever we want. Living as a couple in a van is not that bad. It's exciting. Most of the challenges just come from living in a van, not from living with a significant other.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is being able to just travel all over the US with each other. And if you get angry with each other, you have to figure it out because you're living in a small space. Otherwise, I'll send him to the back of the bed or the back of the van, and I'll go sit in the front of the van, and that's our time alone.
So thank you for checking out our van. If you'd like to follow along with our journey, you can follow Acrovan Adventures on Instagram. And if you have any questions about the build, about why we did certain things, or even about how we're enjoying van life, feel free to drop them in the comments below, and we'd be happy to answer them.
Are you going or am
I don't know. Thanks again, and we will see you on the road.
I hope you enjoyed that video. If you hadn't noticed, we do sell an ebook for how to convert a van. It has over 190 pages of detailed instructions and diagrams, also 25 video tutorials which are specifically for the ebook buyer. Creating a van for many people is obviously a really intimidating project, but I really believe, and I've seen it time and time and time again, that with the right information, anyone can turn out with a pretty decent van conversion. So check the link in the description, subscribe to the channel if you are not already, and drop us a comment if you like this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.